use your portal correctly. All right. Okay, Anayo, please, that message should be directed to the same person. I'm not in charge of, I'm not in the registration department. But you know that these classes are timed, so somebody cannot just join anytime. So we already have a plan for it. First class, second class, third class, fourth class, and we are a sticker for time. I've always said this: time is of utmost essence, right? So please, just I hope that person still has a window, and I believe something can be done. All right, so I believe something can be done. So does anybody have any issue with signing into the portal? I believe that step is clear. Please, if you have any issue with signing in, logging in, please don't keep quiet. Do not keep quiet. Do not keep quiet. If you have any issue signing in, logging in, do not keep quiet. So I'll share my screen. We'll go and we'll just see how the NetAcad portal is. Take a look at that. Please, if you can see my screen, signify. If you can see my screen, just, yeah, Hamad, okay. So I believe my screen is visible to everyone. Okay, that's correct. Okay. Okay, so usually this is your NetAcad portal for those of you. So once you have, yeah, someone saying something? Any questions? Okay, so let me log in. So once you've clicked the link you got from the email, the course will be automatically added in your portal, and you should see Cisco CyberOps Associate. Right, so this is the course outline. This is the course outline that states everything we're going to be talking about in this course. And here you also have all the, you can look here, see module 1, module 2, module 3, and after module 1 and module 2. Is someone saying something? After module 1 and module 2, you have a checkpoint exam. After module 3 and module 4, you have another checkpoint exam. Then you have module 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, another checkpoint exam. Please, you must complete everything in each of these modules. So what I mean, you see the percentage is showing 33%. It must show 100% before you are done with the module. All right, so you must go through every singular thing. Some modules, there are videos there. You must watch the video from start to finish. There are tasks for you to do. Please, everything you are given in this course to do, make sure you do them. They are for your good. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. This is not the first time of me handling this course. And I know basically all the hurdles they are going to encounter. So today we're going to talk about module 1. On Saturday, your instructor is going to teach you people on module 2. So, but then module 1 being the foundation has a lot of things that might be a bit technical for you to do. If you look at this other side, you see you have resources. So this resources has all the downloadables you are going to download in this lab. We have the security onion downloadable. We have the cybersecurity lab VM, UTM, TAR. There's a zipped file. Any of them you want. If you want this one, fine. If you want this other one, still okay. And you have the frequently asked questions. So usually all the answers to everything you have are here. However, if you are so new that terminologies are issues, you can still raise up the questions and we'll guide you through. That's what we're here to do. So if you look at module, before I come back to explain everything that we have here, talk about the anatomy of an attack. In your 1.1.5, this is a very crucial and critical area. It said in this lab, you will install VirtualBox on your personal computer, right? So I don't know. Does anybody know the meaning of VirtualBox? What VirtualBox is? Has anybody have any experience with VirtualBox? Let the person just signify and say it. You have experience with VirtualBox. You know what VirtualBox is. Yeah, Emanuela, you have it. Emanuela, your hands is up. Emanuela, I can see your hands up. Nigel. Oh, Hamad said lets you run and yeah. Nigel, you're saying something?
Yeah, so a VirtualBox basically it's a virtual computer with resources like computing, like processors and storage that you can use separately from your main computer.
You're close. At least you have an idea. Emanuela, your hands is still up. Emanuela, you can say. Sorry,
Can I say
Emanuela,
something,
you can
sir?
say. Yeah, Benga, let me hear from you, Benga.
Yeah, VirtualBox is a separate machine a separate computer inside your computer, sir.
Okay, you're close. You're still close. You're still close. You have an idea. It shows that you have an idea. Hamad said something in the chat. Hamad said, "Virtual, it lets you run an OS on top of your host OS." This is the most local definition I've ever seen. It just shows someone that has practical experience. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, somebody's raising. Zara, you want to say something?
Yes, I would say it's
All
an
right.
app that helps you visualize your physical system.
Virtualize. Okay, brilliant. So before we go, I'll go on explaining. Bring your hands are still up. You want to say something? Oh, Jamu. Let me hear from you, Jamu. Beautiful. I love beautiful contributions. Jamu, go ahead. Jamu, was saying something. Emmanuel says a software that runs in a computer inside a computer. Ah, hey, okay. Yeah, Jamu, say something.
Can you hear
Let
me?
me hear. Yeah. Go on.
Okay, example is just an open source software actually that you can run multiple operating systems on a single physical computer at the same time.
Okay.
It's more or less like a hypervisor.
Okay. If I, there's a story we were told when we were young. A group of blind men wanted to identify an animal. Someone touched the leg and described the elephant as a snake, touched the trunk and defined it as different things. So if I take all the definitions everybody have given me here, both the ones I see in the chat, I think I have a clearer picture of what the VirtualBox is, right? So, but let me just say this. For you to understand what a VirtualBox is, you have to really understand that there was an issue. Let me start by saying this as a story. So in the earlier stages when computers were being developed, there were great minds. I don't know if I've heard of this man called Linus Torvalds. He's still alive. I mean, if I've heard of the man called Linus Torvalds, right? He's still alive. He's one of the greatest founders. So those days, big machines like Unix came out. These are very powerful machines in the industry. So these machines, they are computing machines, right? Or the earlier computers, they let people do real complex works. So Linus Torvalds came up and broke the jinx. So he's the very first person to start what we call open source. So open source meaning that as part of his final year project, right, in school, he created another version of Linux that was lightweight and anybody could use. And guess what? he made the license open and free. Then before you use Unix, even today, before you use Unix, you have to pay. But Linux is free and open source. But then they were using it on servers, but then there's a problem. If you get a server, you buy a server, let's assume that servers usually have things we use to rate servers. We rate servers by the number of CPUs they have, by the storage they have, by their RAM, random access memory, and the speed of their CPU. So imagine you have a server that, for example, has 40 gig storage. 40 gig storage. So 40 gig storage. The RAM is, let's say, 8 gig. I don't know the laptops you guys have. My own laptop, my RAM is 16 gig. My storage is around 500 gig. I've not been able to upgrade it, but then the RAM is 16 gig. Yeah, servers can have RAM as much as 128 gig. That's how powerful they are. So these machines have these compute resources, but there was a problem. The problem there is that you end up putting applications on that server, and you discover that those applications, or you put an operating system on the server. For example, you put a Windows operating system on the server, and that Windows operating system will not be able to use up all the RAM space or the storage space. Right? Will not be able to use, and when it's not able to use everything. We discover that the only app is 50% of the resources on the computer. What's happening to the waste is waste. And meanwhile, to manage a data center where they have many servers is cost intensive. You have to pay for power, pay for security, pay for cooling. Yeah, because those data centers are extremely cold. You have to, it is compute intensive and money intensive. Meanwhile, you are not using everything that the server can do. So that's why I love what Zara said. Zara said something about virtualization. So the concept of virtualization came into place. So what do we call virtualization? So virtualization is a situation whereby there's a piece of software that stays in between many servers, and that software is able to gather and that's what we call a hypervisor. So any software that can be able to do that is called a hypervisor. So we have what we call type 1 hypervisor and type 2 hypervisor. So VirtualBox is a 2 hypervisor. Maybe in later classes I will explain what a type. So type 1 hypervisor using enterprise. So what it enables you to do is that it can be able to take resources from your host machine. Host machine means your computer, your laptop, right? And then allow you to run another operating system on that same laptop. Does anybody have any questions so far? I've been speaking English, right? Any questions? If you're clear,
No,
let me see.
You have to say it again, because at some point you broke. The network seized your voice. Please.
Okay, at what point did I break? Please,
when
at what point did I break?
When you were trying to explain the what's it called? The virtualization. You said virtualization is a situation whereby we have a piece of software and you broke. And you broke from there. So
okay, I said virtualization is a piece of is when we use a piece of software, right? I'm not a software developer, so I cannot really explain how it does it, or I've not gone deep into that. But a piece of software is able to pool all the resources of different computers, right? So imagine you are working in a data center. I don't know if any of you have ever been in a data center before. You have to they use Vim. There are many virtualization software. You have Vim, we have VirtualBox, we have VMware, there's this popular one they used to use. I'm trying to remember the name. So all these are virtualization softwares. that are used majorly in enterprise. But VMware and VirtualBox are what we call type 2 hypervisors. So these are hypervisors that we use on your computer. This is your PC you are carrying up and down. So what it's able to do is that it can take from the resources of your computer, right? Take from the resources of your computer and allow you to install another OS. But that OS is dominant in that VirtualBox environment, just like a sandbox or what we call a container. Keeping that operating system separate from your major
We have
running
lost this
operating
out.
system. So I can just log into my system. So this is how it usually looks like. I don't know, CyberOps may not look like this, but then the way it is in the industrial setting is just there. So you can just mirror that on your computer and use it to work. Oh, I was already doing some things before. So I can just clear and then run basic commands like pwd and all those things on your machine. So that is the very first step. We have to make sure that we achieve that. Everybody have to achieve that on their PC. By the time we get this done, we are good to go. So along the line, you might be experiencing some issues. That's why we're here. Any questions?
Please, am I the only one? Sir, we lost you again at some point. The next thing, stopped sharing. Next thing, you came up and started talking again.
Did anybody get? Oh, Jamil didn't see my
Yes,
screen. Did anybody have
we
similar?
can't see your screen.
Yes, I'm having similar issue. I can't see your
Similar
screen.
issue here. I could not see.
I
issues too.
didn't know when my screen left the sharing. Is everybody? Eh? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, live and direct.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I go again. Hold on, just give me some second. Okay, let me see. Permit me to change my network. Right? Okay. Did I break recently now?
Not at all.
Okay, the network is coming back soon. All right, hold on, just give me some minutes. Let me fix this. I see what's happening here. I see what's causing it. See what is causing it. So we are I'll do that. Since you can see my screen now, let me do something now. So I was showing you people my virtual machine. this is how it looks.
You stop sharing, sir.
It's not real. You are just trying to pull out sources from different machines, bring them into a pool, so that you can now, allocate. It's just
The
like
screen is no longer visible.
You stop sharing your
You're
screen.
not sharing, no.
my screen is what?
We can't see
Your
your
screen is
screen
not.
again.
Oh God, I missed. At the end of the day, this day, if we finish this class and I survive this screen sharing problem, okay.
Sir, please, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, what about some of us that have visual machine already? Must we install VirtualBox?
You have VMware already.
Yes, sir.
Which one do you have? Let me know. I have both of them. I have VMware, I have VirtualBox on my own computer.
Is
Right.
VMware station?
You say? I didn't get you. What did you say?
He said VMware workstation.
Yeah, VMware, sir, workstation.
Okay, you have VMware workstation.
Yes, sir.
That's okay. VMware is not bad. I use VMware. I also use VirtualBox. I can use any one of them. But for this training, you need VirtualBox. Do you know why? The file that is on our NetAcad cannot work with VMware. Don't bother trying. I've done that many years ago. It can't work. It can't work with VMware. So the way it is configured, VMware will not even understand it.
Okay, no problem.
So you need VirtualBox.
Okay.
Yeah. So please, we have to get VirtualBox. And I want to point out something. I believe you can still see my screen. The thing that has been removing my screen is no longer affecting it.
See your screen.
Okay, so on your NetAcad portal, there are things that you need to point out. Nothing written here is for fancy. Nothing written here is for fancy. Under this installing the virtual machines, you see that you need to install VirtualBox on your personal computer. There's this thing written here: CyberOps VMware Workstation VM. Who understands the meaning of this? Who understands the meaning of this? Let me see. Does anybody understand? I highlighted something. Does anybody understand the meaning of that? So this is one thing I usually tell people. Ask why. Let me see, someone is raising up the hand. Manela, your hand has been up.
Why?
You see something that you don't know, you ask. I want to know why. So I'll explain that to you. These are what we call hashing system. Explaining the concept of hashing is beyond this training. I don't know your discipline in university, but hashing involves complex mathematics, right? Hashing involves a very deep, complex mathematics. So you have to do one kind of mathematics. You do addition, you do subtraction, you put the square root, you use a prime number, you multiply by one very long number to get hashing. And human beings cannot easily do it because it is computationally intensive. So machines have been assigned to do that job for us. So now, why do we do hashing? If you write, hold on, let me check something. I want to do something so that I'll explain this hashing. Then after that, we'll now talk about downloading and installing the workstation. So, but meanwhile, let me be downloading it. I have not downloaded it too, but let me be downloading it. I place it on download so that it will be downloading. You see now, I say, what do you want to do? You save it. So make sure you note the folder where it is saved. Let me save it in my main folder. The size is around 2.8 gigs, so that's pretty small. Okay. So let's check this site. I want to explain hashing to us. We have a very simple site like you
Please,
can
I
go
have a
online and just
question.
go ahead. What's this?
Yes, sir. Please, sir, about the action, is there a difference between action and description and encryption? Does they relate?
A very powerful. Yeah, there's a difference. I will explain that now. So this is hash. This is a hash generator, right? So if I go to hash generator now, we can just type anything, and it will generate the hash for that thing. It's going to generate the hash for that. So if you come here, so let's type anything. I say Emanuela's hand is up. Emanuela's hand is up. So if I say generate, are you seeing it now? You see we have the MD5 hash. Can you see it now? We are seeing my screen. Please, if you are seeing, tell me.
Yes, you can see your
Yes, sir, we
screen.
can see your screen.
Can we see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Yes, sir, we can see. Oh, we can see it.
Creating a one-way channel in one pathway, such that if
So
somebody
we
puts this
can't see your
message
screen
that was hashed,
anymore.
the person can get
Sir, he did not hear you at all. You just came creating. Just next thing we had creating a hash.
We can't even see your screen anymore.
I was even thinking I'm the only one.
I dropped a message regarding that. You can't see his screen, you can't even hear him at some point.
Okay. Can you see now? Can you see my screen? This is too bad.
No, it's
Where is
dark.
this
We
issue
can't see.
coming
We
from?
can see it now.
Hear my voice, please.
It is well. Oh.
Your service is just trolling, Mr. Favor. Like you should speak now. In the next 2-3 seconds, you won't hear you again.
You can see the screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Please, the last thing we heard was Emanuela's hand is up on
So,
that.
sir, can you
Hash.
go ahead and teach us how to hash it, sir?
No, this is not normal. Can you hear my voice?
Sir, I think you need to work on your network. Your network is so bad. You will just break. You will come and disappear. Come and disappear.
It wasn't only him. Oh. I was even experiencing bad network throughout today. Like network was so crazy today. I don't know why. Like I lost a lot of things today that I could not do. Now
You may need to hash your network a little.
Wait a moment. Wait a minute. I need to sit down here. Hear me. Are you sure it's not your network?
It can be like 20 people network.
Hello, can you hear me?
The network.
Even now, we cannot hear you.
Again. If you are
I'm
speaking
not
at
in
the
now.
moment,
Can
you
you hear
can.
me?
Yes, we
hear
can hear
you,
you, sir, but it's breaking.
It's breaking exactly. Sometimes it comes so fast. Sometimes the voice will break and then we won't hear again.
All right. How about now, everyone?
Yeah, it's better, sir.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Exactly. You're really clear now.
Are you there, sir?
Bye.
Can you all hear me? I don't know. This
Yes,
network
yes,
is
sir.
not
We
coming
can
from
hear
my
you. We can hear you. Just that we can't see.
We can hear you now. I hear you now.
We just started hearing you. If you have been talking all this while.
Okay. No. I've been muted. I've not been talking. I've been muted. So let me share my screen again. Please just if you just stop hearing me at any point in time, just tell me you have not hearing me so that I know what's going on. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir,
everything
we
is
can see
okay
us.
now. Okay. So can you see my hash generator where I am now?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I was just trying to explain the meaning of the hashing you were seeing there. So hashing is just like a one-way encryption. Now the idea of hashing is that if you do a hash, like I just said, Manuela's hand is up and I say generate, and it gave me the MD5 hash here. MD5 is a method of hashing. It also gave me the SHA-1 hash. These days we have SHA-2 hash. The moment I change anything about this and I put a dot, for example, and I say generate, you see that the whole hash will change, right? You see that the whole hash has changed and it's completely different from what we had before. Now, what is the idea of hashing? Idea of hashing is to preserve what we call integrity of files. Right? So in cybersecurity settings, they check the hash. One, it can help us to prevent the integrity of a file. So if I want to send a file to you now, as I put in that file is a confidential information, and I send that file to you, I will send you the hash of the file. Why am I sending you the hash of the file? If you get any file at your own end and you check the hash, right, and the hash is the same with the one I sent, that is a proof that it is the genuine file. Do you understand? Do you understand what I said?
Yes, sir.
That's a proof that it is the genuine file.
Yeah.
So if you check and there's a difference in hash, what's it a proof? It's a proof that that file was corrupted along the way. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clear.
So there are different methods. Also, another practical use cases, for example, in cybersecurity SOC setting. SOC means Security Operations Center setting. So in an SOC setting, we know that some of the files, for example, there was this investigation I was doing at a particular time. The company were having issues with their computers, overheating, all those kind of things, and then it was okay. So, but then they had an issue that they complained one time about a ransomware. I don't know if you know what a ransomware is. So ransomware is just like a virus that when it gets into your system, the attacker can lock up your computer. So you just come to your computer and your password is not working again. They've locked up your system. So that's ransomware. So the problem was after they have finished clearing the ransomware from their computers, they did not know that the attacker still left a backdoor on their system. So what was the backdoor meant to do? The backdoor was just there doing what they call information exfiltration. So whenever it is doing information exfiltration, it's just like you and another person is sharing your computer, basically. So the CPU usage will become high, this thing will become high. So there was just a malware there. Now, now when we checked this further, we knew that this virus they're using is a common virus that every attacker has been using. How did we know? We just checked the hash. We found a file that was behaving suspicious. We just checked the hash, and when we put the hash online, it brought out the name of the file. We say this is a file that is a malicious file and is in your system. It's in one of your computers, and because it's in one of your computers, it can infect other computers. So that is another thing. So we use hashing to know which file is malicious, right? Though it's not always working these days because attackers are becoming smart. They know that hashing, if you change one thing, the whole hash will change, so they can change it. But we have other ways of catching them anyway. However, this is an importance of hashing. So what CyberOps is trying to tell us basically that any workstation you download, please check the hash, check the MD5 hash. If it is not this, it is wrong file, right? If you check the SHA-512 hash and it's not the same as this, that is not the file we are giving you. I hope that's clear now.
How do we check the hash, please? How do we check the hash, please?
Okay, that's a very good question. If you download the file, hold on. If you download the file, let me check. I've not downloaded it, and I don't think I'll download it in this class. I have to preserve network bandwidth. MTN has a conspiracy. MTN and Glo have conspired to make sure that I don't finish this class today. So I want to do something practical. Hold on. So for example, you are using Windows, right? You have to how many of you know command prompt, right? Command prompt. Let me open my command prompt on my system. Command prompt. Okay, let me use PowerShell. Yeah, PowerShell. PowerShell is better. So you check. Let me look for a file in PowerShell. Okay, I have a file here. This is WSTG. So I want to check the hash of this file. Right? So I will just say there's a command called get file hash. Right? So get file hash. I have to specify the name of the file. The name of the file is WSTG v4.2.pdf. Let's see if it gives it. Are you seeing the file? So this is the hash of the file. So this is just SHA-256 hash. But what they ask us is MD5, right? MD5. So you have to specify. So for example, if you just say get file hash, it's going to give you SHA-256, but you have to specify MD5. Oh, what's the error there? So this is what you will do. You say dash algorithm. You say MD5. It's going to give you the MD5 hash of the file. Is that clear? So if you download it, you check the
Please, can
MD5.
you come again?
Is it with the command I used?
Yeah, you need to come again from afresh, sir.
So this
From
I use
how
Windows
you,
PowerShell. Okay.
how you got to
Yeah.
this page
The
that
way
you
your
started
hand
typing
is, yes, sir.
this?
How I got to what? Let me get you.
So please, can you just please start afresh? Like how you opened this new page, like where you
PowerShell,
got
the way you open the
So
PowerShell.
yeah. Okay, let me take it gradually. So what I opened is what we call command prompt on your computer. If you're on your computer, you can press Windows and R key. So you press Windows and R key. Are you seeing CMD by the side here? Are you seeing on my screen CMD?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So you said you
Please,
can
sir,
just say okay.
I want to
Yeah,
ask,
go ahead.
what if someone
Yeah.
is using Linux or Mac?
MacBook is basically the same thing. There's a command for MacBook to check, right? So you are using Linux. Will you be able to download VirtualBox? Okay. If you are using Linux, I will look for a way to help you with that. But I say not Linux, MacBook. Is anybody using Linux here? That's strange. I don't think anybody's using Linux. Linux is not what you use as your operating system now. So Windows is what you usually see. So when you come to this place, right, you are seeing.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Can you
go
hear me?
ahead.
I was
I
asking, is
can.
it Linux as a operating system or inside VirtualBox?
Operating system what?
Is it Linux as operating system or Linux in VirtualBox?
So you have to, yeah, you can put Linux on VirtualBox. You can put, you
No,
can still put Windows on
you
VirtualBox.
were asking who is using Linux.
Okay, I'm talking about your, like now, what you are seeing is a Windows operating system. This is Windows
With
11.
VirtualBox
So
and
I'm
Linux on
asking,
it.
yes, you put a VirtualBox
Okay.
and you put Linux on it.
So that's
So
my
I want to know
question.
whether somebody's using Linux as his basic operating system. Is there anybody
Okay,
like that?
okay. We don't get money for that system yet now.
No, it's
This
not a
is
special system.
now you go run.
Mr. Favor,
All right.
I don't get money.
I was not able to download
The file.
Yes. It's
Okay,
showing
what was
lost.
it?
The file
It's
wasn't
showing what?
available, right?
You say what?
The file wasn't available on site. It's forbidden.
Where did you go? This is where you download the file from. Hello? Can you see my
Please
CyberOps
also,
face?
this lady is moving too fast. Sir, please just continue teaching, please.
Wait, I know I'm coming. Anybody can
Yes,
move at this speed, but
the same
cyber.
document.
Listen, wait, hold on. This is Cybersecurity Lab workstation. Did you click this? Or you need to
Yes,
just download,
yes, sir, I did.
and it told you forbidden.
Yes.
That's 403.
Yes.
Will chat me up. I'll see what your problem is later. But then
Okay.
what I'm explaining is how to check if the file you download is genuine. So if the people that are making the file has given you the file name, for example, is there any software I downloaded recently? Let me check my downloads. I did not downloaded this lab machine, so let me see if I downloaded a software recently. A software recently. I downloaded Bob Suite. I've deleted it. A software recently. So a software is just a file. I hope you know. Software is just a normal file. I'm just taking my time to take us. Okay. Oh no, this one was cancelled. So any file basically. So when you come to your CMD, you can just click here and open PowerShell, or you type PowerShell in your command. So I just want us to use PowerShell to do that. So when you use PowerShell, you can just say the command we use is get, right? Hold on, let me see. I'm just checking a file. I can use any file as example. So I want to use the name of this file is wstg-4.2-pdf. So I will just say get hash file. File hash. How many times am I making this? Then when you say get file hash, you will now write the name of the file, wstg on 4.2.pdf. Then you can now specify the algorithm. If you don't specify the algorithm, it will give you SHA-256 algorithm. Now, in this case, CyberOps only gave us MD5, right? And SHA-512. So in your own, I'm not using the main file. You just write MD5. It will compute it for you. So this is the hash. So when you check this hash, for example, if you have downloaded the file, you check this hash, and it's not the same thing with this one, then that's the wrong file you have. Right? So, but if you check it and it's the same, you have the correct file. Is that clear?
So I have a question.
Go on.
So please, these commands you used on PowerShell, can we also use it on
Yeah.
Linux, like to do the same thing?
Yeah, Linux has it. Yeah, Linux has its own
Okay,
version.
so we can use the
Linux has its
same
own version.
command on both command prompts.
No. Linux uses what they call checksum.
Okay.
Checksum. Yeah, it's not the same command, but it can be done. In fact, it's easier on Linux.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because of my internet bandwidth, I've discovered where the issue is coming from. There's a throttle on the internet. Somewhere along Atlantic Ocean, there's a fiber cable cut. So I won't be able to download this file at the normal speed, and it's going to take a whole time. So let's just go through the whole module check. Let's talk about.
So I have a
So
question.
after this
I have
class,
a question.
please, yeah, ask your question. Ask your question.
That's when you are checking the hash 5, the hash 5, right? I don't know if I'm getting it right. When you are checking
Hash, yeah.
when you are checking that those serial number and that generate that as you are generating something, then you went to your file and said get in, then put the algorithm and all that. Then it give us one file, right? Then he said it is M2. Now my question is, M2 and M5, are they different thing entirely?
So hashing, there are different algorithms. So we use the word algorithm, right? There are different algorithms. We have MD5. MD5 was one of the first algorithms they had, but they're no longer using MD5 now. The reason is because when a hash is broken, so MD5 is actually broken. They only use it to check integrity of files. So let me explain this thing now. Have you ever asked yourself that when you go to a website now, you create a new account? For example, now you all created an account with NetAcad, and your password is Nigeria 1234 or Uganda 4567. Do you think that in the database where your password is stored, because your password is actually stored on the database, your password is not stored in what we call clear text, because that's a security risk. So your password is hashed. Have you not noticed that admins cannot tell you your password in a setting, in an enterprise? If you forget your password, the admin does not know your password, and he means it. He does not know it. Why? Because even a computer does not know what you put as your password. The moment you're typing your password, there is a converter in the system that just changes that thing you type, right, into hash and save the hash on the database. So if an attacker breaks into the database, the attacker will not see any password that makes sense. Do you understand why it works like that? So when hashing started, MD5 came in. We have SHA-1, we have SHA-2, and then SHA-2 have different other variants. Now we have SHA-512. Those are stronger hashing encryptions. Now these days we're now having what we call bcrypt. Okay, bcrypt is merely for passwords. But why am I saying this? I'm saying this in the sense that hashing, there are different algorithms. You can either choose MD5, you can either choose SHA-256. I think there was 128 at a particular time, or you can choose SHA-512. These are different hashing algorithms. So whoever is giving you a file have computed the hash on his own end and known his own algorithm. Are you getting me? So if you are checking, you will check for what he gave you. Do you understand? Is this clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
It's
Please,
clear,
I have a
right?
question, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, when you hash a document, sir, before it gets to the person you are sending the hash document to, it's not like, is it possible that I can maybe manipulate the file before it gets to the person?
Okay, so you're not understanding my point. Hashing does not change what is in the document.
In the document.
What changes it? Yeah, hashing does not change what is in the document. In fact, the document is still the same thing. What changes what is in the document is what we call encryption.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you encrypt something, you can decrypt it. But when you hash something, you cannot unhash it. Do you understand? So
Yes,
the
I
document
understand.
goes there.
Okay,
So it's just like me telling you, it's just like me telling you now that I want to buy land from you. Right? You say the land is 6 million naira. What will you give me if I pay?
6 million.
If I pay you 6 million for a land, what will you give me?
I'll give you the land.
No, now will I carry land on my head? You give me something now.
Paper,
Right?
I will give you the receipt, sir.
Thank you. You give me a receipt. Hashing is just like the receipt. Hashing is not the main file.
Okay, so
Do you
now
get?
I understand.
So if anybody comes to drag that land, I will say, this is the receipt. Do you get me? If there are two owners, you want to say, okay, who actually owns the land? Hashing is just like a testifier that this file is not corrupted. Do you get it? That's where it is used in this context.
I get you, sir. So that is the difference between hashing and encryption.
Good. So encryption can be reversed, but hashing cannot be reversed.
Hashing cannot be reversed. Yeah, thank you, sir. I understand now.
Yeah. Any more questions? So that we'll go to what we have on our portal. So that we'll just talk about what we have on our portal. Okay. I believe this is clear. So the very first thing we have is the danger. Before you start, please go through this knowledge check. No need to cheat. If you don't know it, you don't know it, right? Just go through this knowledge check, answer the questions. They will ask you strange questions you've not had before. Is expected. Please just go. There are no penalties for failing at that stage. So please just go through it and move on. Now, war stories is talking about hijacked people, ransom companies, targeted nations. I know if you are abreast with what's happening in the world, you know that people are being hijacked every day. Companies are being attacks. In fact, one of your big favorite companies in Nigeria, I don't know if you know of the company, it's a telecommunication company, was attacked in 2024 by a ransomware, right? I say it because I know the company very well. So everybody just came to office and their computers were locked. They were asking them to pay 500 million naira in form of Bitcoin before they unlock it. But the problem with that payment is that if you pay, you are emboldening the attackers, and sometimes there's no guarantee that they will unlock it at the end of the day. So that's what they call, these are examples of issues that happen day by day. A lot of attacks are happening. Many of you don't even know that a lot of attacks are happening, even as you are sitting on your chair. Somebody is actively trying to get into your account. So that's why you need to be alert, you need to be agile. These days the attacks are even evolving, especially in the Ukraine versus Russia war. We are seeing Russian attackers sending a virus that can shut down the whole power of a country. You know how dangerous that is? Shut down the whole power of a country. Medical care, people that need medical care that are affected by bombs cannot access it. You know, all those kind of things. People can lose their lives because of that. So that is what we're talking about, dangers. So these days now, war is not just fought based on, King of England carry 5,000 men and go to war. King of France, Napoleon, carry his own, and they meet at Waterloo and they fight the Battle of Waterloo. You know, those are our stories usually. Then maybe Napoleon was killed at the end of the day. These are things we also say. So you have to know that even as you're holding your phone, the attack is happening at the same time. So you should also know that as a cybersecurity, from now, you have to start adjusting your mind. You have to start training your mind. Remove the spirit of free Wi-Fi. Please. It's not usually free. Right? You go to airports, you go to this place, they say connect. Please do not connect. Some go to conferences and say, oh, one of the perks of attending this conference is that we have a free Wi-Fi. Please leave the Wi-Fi alone. I could just come in, that Wi-Fi setting. I'll check the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is propagating at a frequency of 1.8 gigahertz. I check where the Wi-Fi is coming from. Check the IP address. I send the authentication signal to the Wi-Fi. So what means that the authentication signal? Tell the Wi-Fi to shut down. That's what they call a denial of service attack. That Wi-Fi shuts down. I open my own Wi-Fi, give it the same name, and put it. Everybody that is connecting is passing through me. Everything you are pressing, I am seeing it at the back end. You go to your school website. Your username is Chioma. Your password is this. I'm seeing everything on my computer. Attackers can do that. Very easy. And what if it is your bank and the bank is not using a secured network? You put your username, you put your password. I'm at the end watching you. Right? And what about even if there is a secure network and maybe the implementation of security was not done properly, it was not configured properly? I can remove the security of the network and see what you're writing in daylight. So if I want to steal money, I'll press any amount I want to steal from your account. And as expected, the bank will send 2FA for you. Meanwhile, the 2FA, I will still see it from where I am. As the bank is sending it, I'm seeing it. And I put the 2FA. And bam, 5 million is gone. So that is one of the things we have to be careful about. So let's look at the threat actors, the type of threat actors we have. Somebody wants to ask a question? Okay. So threat actors, we have amateurs. So these are people that are just learning now. They don't have skills, so they want to hack. Maybe they just learned that when you go to, I remember when I was doing some penetration testing, there's a way you can do it. You don't even need so much password. You can log into the person's account. They go and test it and it work. They are good. They learn how to take down your website. They just go. You know those people, they don't have any aim. They're just testing their skills. Those are what we call amateurs. They are what they call script kiddies. They have little or no skills. They cannot even create their own tools by themselves. But the experts are guys that create tools. They are able to go and discover the weakness and write a code that can override that weakness, that can manipulate that weakness. Then we also have what they call hacktivists, right? Hacktivists, for example, how many of us remember when there was the reign of these people? They called them Anonymous in Nigeria. I don't know the country you're listening from, but in Nigeria there was a reign of a very terrorist group that was giving people free listing. Hacktivists. There are people that kind of they hack for political gains. They hack to protest against the government because the government does not. Yeah. That means the government does not align with their ideas. They hack.
Sir, do we have those people?
That's hacktivists.
No. Okay, activists that hack the government just to maybe investigate something. Do we still have those people?
Then they now go to dark web now. Do you know the road to dark web? He said they know they work.
You know they work, sir. Because see the way we collect up and down bombarding. See wetin attackers they carry INEC portal they do. So all these activists suppose.
Wait. Attackers is carrying INEC portal to do what?
INEC portal is not active now. You cannot select word. You cannot select polling unit.
So it's little information you have that's making you say that attackers is attacking INEC portal. Is that what you think?
No. That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm saying is, I feel like they are using offensive people now to make us not to gain access to those particular field. So all these our activities now will help us in breaking all those things. That's what I'm
saying. There's no issue with Nigerian INEC portal. I can tell you for sure. There's no issue. You cannot even break into there, no matter how good you are. If there's any attack, Nigeria as a case study, I will just leave it at this. Because the value of information I have. If there's any attack,
good evening, sir.
I'm coming.
Every day, sir.
You say?
Most people talking about hackers and the like, they don't advertise their handwork. They don't advertise what they are doing. It's just that at the end of the day, you just hear that some sites are compromised, some organizations have been compromised, but they will never tell you. Even as we speak right now, there are people who are actually doing one or two shady things behind the scenes.
Except if you are in dark web, that's the way you'll be able to notice that those kind of information are being leaked.
Exactly.
If you are on
dark web,
dark web, that's why
on the dark web, that's when you know what's going on.
You know
I see a lot. Don't worry. Okay. I see a lot of us want to become hackers.
Majority, I can say that majority of the internet users don't even know how to navigate the dark web.
IBM lost over 5 million of their user data recently.
People talking about the hackers and the likes. Brother, guys, it's better you just pray that they don't come for you, because if they come for you, everything about you within a twinkle of an eye, everything about you will just go down. It's better you just stay clear. Try as much as possible to protect yourself and stay clear. That's just what I want to say. That's my own.
That's okay. That's a very good thing. That's why you are learning cybersecurity, right? That's why I'm also explaining this type of hackers to you also. You should know that no matter how good you are, even me, if you feel like I'm too good, I know this, they will show you shege. Those people will tell you that they are good at what they do, and that's why they are here. So on the issue of INEC and the portals and whatever, see, young man, so far with the little information I know, there's nothing wrong there in that portal. People are doing shady stuff. There is just nothing wrong. If anything happens on INEC portal, ask INEC, they know what happened. So that's the best I can tell you. So hacktivists, right? these people, they can protest political and social ideas. So, for example, in the days of what's this man name? There's a popular person that said religion is the opium of the masses. I'm trying to remember his name. One of these popular ideology. Yeah. So instead of them coming out to speak against, Karl Marx, Marxism, and all those, instead of them coming to speak like Karl Marx and say religion is the opium of the masses, what did they do? That they hack your website and put religion is the opium of the masses. They are protesting a particular social idea, but with their internet skills, right? Nigeria is a, let's assume if they believe that Nigeria is an autocratic system, they can bring down the website of a popular government portal, bam, and put there, Nigeria is a autocratic system, bring down so person now, or that kind of a thing. They'll just be doing that. That's their own kind of thing. Another way they can protest that is in form of a denial of service attack. I mean, if you know, during the run up to Donald Trump presidency election, we all knew that this popular billionaire who is currently a trillionaire, Elon Musk, was supporting him. So in the build up to I'm just giving you an example of what they call a denial of service attack, or what they call a distributed denial of service attack. I remember that night, I wanted to hear what Elon Musk would say on that Twitter is it podcast, what did they call it again? So Elon Musk, they set up that channel to discuss about why people should vote for Donald Trump that night. Guess what? We couldn't hear anything. There was a directed attack on Twitter that night. So bots from millions of bots from different parts of the world to Twitter. It was bringing down all Twitter servers worldwide. So Twitter could not host that meeting. Elon Musk immediately spoke to his cyber team and they were able to mitigate the attack. You can remember that incident, right? You remember that incident? There was an attack that night.
Yes,
I remember I was awake to hear what Elon Musk.
I actually planned
I was awake to hear what
planned to join the call, but there was nothing said.
Yeah.
It was not that I was even
I
getting.
couldn't hear anything. Yeah, I couldn't hear anything. But then what happened was a denial of service attack. Why? People that had opposing ideas as Donald Trump, as the Republican Party in the United States, they didn't want people to hear what Elon Musk had to say. Right? Maybe people that are pro-abortion, people that are, and all those things, right? So that is how activists, they do their things. They are good at what they do. However, they don't even use their skills to make money, per se. Now, there are the ones that are after the bag. These ones are not hush puppy. Hush puppy is still learning, These ones, I hope you know that in Nigeria, we don't have good hackers like that in Nigeria. Even in Africa generally, the craziest hackers are from China.
This was what I just asked you. This was what I just asked you. If we have good activist hackers in the day. That was what I just asked.
So wait, I'm coming to that question at one side. That I said we don't have good hackers. Now, I'm saying it when I'm comparing other countries. And I'm also saying it when I'm trying to talk about the rate of fraud on the internet. Nigerians are not even top 15 in fraud. The only problem is that Nigerians are very loud. You see the people that do the hacking, they steal the money and they vanish. You don't see them. Nigerians are not even top 15. Nigerians are not there. It's just that when somebody goes to hack and carry one big money, the next thing is with Lamborghini, is with it's obvious. FBI just know that this one it's obvious. Where did he get the money from? He has told one old woman in United States that he loves her. You know those nonsense talk. And the woman is thinking she has a husband in Nigeria and is sending the husband upkeep. They know. But then these are not the main scammers. They are still looking for them. Some people that have stolen in the United States as much as 5.something billion, they are looking for them in hacks. So these are people that they hack for what? Financial gain. North Korean hackers, very good at that. Those are the ones that are notorious for hacking all those crypto wallets. They hack the crypto wallets and move billions worth in dollars out of it. Then there are also people that do it for trade secrets and for global politics. Right? Trade secrets and for global politics. So something happened recently in my company. They wanted to procure new switches, new routers, and then a particular instruction was given: no buying of any product related from China. Now that's not new. Do you know that while we're in the data center, sometimes I'm usually there in the night. Usually in the day the temperature is a bit higher. Temperature is a bit higher in the day, but at night temperature is a bit cool. And these servers, those switches, those power switches, very big power switches, they tend to make noise when the temperature is high. So we trying to reduce the temperature of the data center and make the data center to be very cool, so that the parts will not overheat. So if you come to a data center, it's basically a very quiet place in the night. In the day, now in the night, our ACs are still working perfectly. But tell me why our ACs, especially all those Huawei servers and those Huawei switches.
Sir, you're breaking, and this is very important. You're breaking. Sir, please, can you come again?
Where did I break? What was the last thing you heard me say?
You didn't break. It's their
You
network.
didn't break. I think
You
it's
break,
the
or
network.
it's his own network.
Okay. You have vindicated me. So, okay. I said I was explaining how we're able to discover suspicious activities in different products. So when we're using Huawei servers and when we're using Cisco servers. So Cisco servers is made from a company in US, Cisco, which is Cisco NetAcad we are using. And then Huawei servers is made of, obviously, in China, pure China, Huawei. Anything in Huawei is China. So in the night when the servers are supposed to be quieter and cooler, they make the loudest noise. So deeper investigations have shown that night when server is quiet, there's information being stolen from the server. People log in, and when you check the IP address, it's always China. So these are hackers which are sponsored by the Chinese government. To do what? To steal information, to steal trade secrets. So that is why when you hear Donald Trump shout, China, 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 he knows what he's saying. Right? There might be a bit of witch hunt there, but China is not free. China is not clean. So China is fond of doing what they call copy manufacturing. You do this, they copy your product and they manufacture it. How do they even get the knowledge of what you did? They've always found a way to steal trade secrets.
We have some Chinese in this class. Oh.
Really? I'm not referring to everybody in China. No. I'm not referring to everybody in China. I'm not referring to everybody in China. It's not something that is how do I put it? That is something that is known for Chinese. So you cannot say every Chinese. I'm just trying to talk about the corporate world, China. So China does not actually run, but they are just notorious for that. Their companies are notorious for that. And don't get me wrong, they make one of the best products, but then I'm just telling you in terms of what they call cyber espionage, cyber warfare. And don't think that do not think that China is the only one that does it. United States does it. UK does it. Nobody is free. I don't know if Nigeria is doing it. But Nigeria have not finished fighting. The one they have is to go and do espionage. So no one is free. So, but this is just go ahead. Yeah.
If you can detect a IP address from China that they are selling something, then what the use of VPN and proxy and all that? Is it not possible that somebody in Canada might be using China IP address? I don't know. I'm just novice on this, but I normally see VPN.
Yeah. You asked a very good question. People can use VPN to hide their location, but for how long? And you think some of you Nigerians that thinking that if I put VPN on my phone, they will not know that it's a lie. Who will know? Now, it's not only by your IP address they used to use and know your this thing. Your phone has what they call a MAC address, right? So it is recorded where the MAC address of that thing went to. It is in the record. By the time your MAC address is there, the other things they usually know, your screen brightness, your location. See, there are some things that once you use VPN, it will just discard it and find your real location. It's what they call geofencing. So no matter how strong your VPN is, they will say it is a strong VPN. If somebody want to catch you, they will catch you. No matter how powerful your VPN is, it's not as strong as certain tools that are being used now. And so you can only mask it for someone that is not interested in going deep. And the going deep is not even difficult. Someone like me, I'll find it.
The more you go deep, they go deeper. These guys are very intelligent.
They are the ones that invented the thing. So you can't go deeper you can't be more Catholic than the Pope. Do you understand? You can't be more Catholic than the Pope.
Because, sir, we are sharing the same logic, the same how will I put it? The same logic, the same way we do our things, but those guys are always smarter than us.
Because they are the ones that invented it.
Because
right? They built the technology for you.
It's just the intention now that separates us. It's just our intention now that separates us.
Okay. Are you talking about the attackers or who?
Yes, sir, the attackers.
Okay. While you're working in cybersecurity, you use the same tools as the attackers. However, the only thing that you're using the tools to show an organization operational vulnerabilities.
I exactly. Can share that.
Also there's the moral perspective to it. There's a moral perspective to it. I have a friend that worked with Zenith Bank. He's currently in Dubai now. He'll tell me that favor today in the office, in real time, somebody was stealing money from the bank. They were seeing debit alerts. Claim was just going. They shut down the system. By the time they bring the system up again, money continued missing. In real time. And when they traced it, they were able to find out how the theft started. They came and then at gunpoint, maybe they promised him 10 million or something like that. He said they gave him a flash drive and told him to plug it to one computer, any computer in the bank, and he did it. And they collected the 10 million. So from that flash drive, they were able to enter into the bank. Recently, there was an incident with FCMB. The attackers they have already started stealing over 3.something billion. They've stolen it electronically. But you know that money does not actually miss until it's cashed out at the ATM. Right? So they've stolen the money electronically. 3.something billion. They have cashed out over 800 million. Remaining, so it was when they have cashed out 800 million, the bank saw it. The bank now blocked the remaining transfer and reversed the remaining money back.
Same thing happened with GT Bank. They traced the guy, but what the advantage was they caught the guy now, but they employed the guy. The guy was the one that secured the whole system. They didn't deal with him.
He's just lucky.
The guy is just
lucky. The prayer his mother was praying for him is working.
But there have been incidents where the hackers actually got away with the theft. Like there was this incident that happened in Bangladesh where they hacked into the bank and they were moving money. They actually moved over, I think, about $51 million. But their intention was to move more than. So there are some incidents like this that actually the hackers actually got away with the crime.
So so our intention here is to help prevent it, right? Is to help prevent it.
Oga Favor.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Brother Favor, I want
I
to
can
ask
hear
a
you.
favor. See, does it mean that a whole bank doesn't have qualified and professional cyber security that can protect their bank? Because if as a security, cyber security, um, cyber security, professional cyber security in a bank, if a hacker outside the world can can hack a bank and steal millions of naira, that means that personnel is useless in that bank. That's cyber security is useless in that bank because you should be
No,
ahead of any
the thing there
attacker.
is, the thing there is,
You
well,
understand?
the thing there is, like what he is saying, the more they come up with tools that will make them penetrate into a system successfully. That's how they are also working to protect the system. So it's a cat and rat game. If you catch me here, I'll open another channel to try and do what I want to do. You have to also create another channel to try and stop them. So this cybersecurity something is an ongoing activity, something that is a continuous journey. It's not something that you say that okay because you stop this, because you stop this attack does not mean that another attack will not come up. That's why if you
Ex-
notice, most of us that use antiviruses on our system, you keep noticing that maybe 2-3 days intervals, they will be telling you to update your antivirus database. Update antivirus database. It shows you that the database that they have, there are new viruses that are already out, and they need to secure your system. So, as a cybersecurity analyst, as we are training, we are undergoing this training to become cybersecurity analysts. We need to be in the know, listen to cybersecurity talks. I will know that this attack that I just got to know about today has been stopped. They've already gotten
exactly,
another.
Okay.
exactly. Victor,
Another
Okay.
you're
access
very
to.
right.
So
Okay. Okay.
it's not something that you just sit down and relax. It's a continuous something.
Exactly. You need to update
It's like
yourself.
Okay.
it's
While they
like
are working, you are
it's
working.
like
All right.
it's
All right.
like
All right.
it's like
All
you're
right.
in a school you
So
never graduate.
yeah. I love this conversation because it's just like the debate that is happening now between Messi and Ronaldo. Uh-huh. Everybody is expecting more from them at the end of the day. But in something like cybersecurity, you is not a one size fits all. You have to keep on innovating. Sometimes you are also faced with difficult choices. Sometimes you're also faced with difficult choices. You've not seen a situation whereby you are forced to break down your company's security because one of the employees is in danger that can take his life. Attackers can blackmail you like that. It's a very serious case. So no matter how you see it, no matter how you put it, just know that security is something that is ongoing. There are many techniques we've studied. We've seen a lot of things. There are many techniques. So you just started the journey. Even me, I'm still going on. So it's a continuous thing. As you keep on going, you will discover one new thing. I was talking to one of my friends that was a web developer recently. I told him that look, go and update your WordPress version. Or they have discovered remote code execution on the previous version. That's a problem. RCE is a problem. Once they discovered RCE, you are in trouble. Attackers are always checking. They are always working hard. So, update, put this one. It's okay, it's fine, but know that this thing is an ongoing process. That's just the point. You keep on innovating as you go, as you keep on going. You are in the industry, you keep on seeing new things. So, I hope that's clear. That's very clear. So, the next thing is how secure is the Internet of Things? So, Internet of Things, the concept, the first time I heard of Internet of Things was around 2015, 2014, where you can control gadgets in your house from your office. You can see your camera in your house from your office. The problem there is that, especially in banking system, most of those IP configured cameras have never been updated. Some cameras, the last time they updated in 2008. Attackers can hack that camera from that camera. they can get into the system one way or the other. That is it. So I was doing a test for a customer recently. I discovered there's one port that I'm not using that is just open. I said, why is the port open? What's the port doing open? So these are things we check. So especially with imagine that somebody is able to hack your IoT. That's Internet of Things, and then the person from there is able to open your gates remotely from outside. That's the problem. And the person being able to open your gate can disable your cameras. You can't even see him when he entered. Now, I'm not saying conspiracy theory. I'm saying what I watch in the movie. These are things that happen in real life. That's why there are some murders that cannot be resolved from anywhere, because the attackers came in clean and left clean. There are some thefts that you cannot find. This one is not the one they say, what's that heist movie? These are clean real life movies that happened. There was a journalist the other day that they found him in his house, hacked to death. Nobody can. Till today, they've not solved the murder case. No matter as sophisticated as the United States is, they've not been able to solve that murder case. So these are things that, we have to be checking all the while. While, that those devices use what they call firmware. Right? So firmware is like, it's kind of special software, but it's dedicated for a particular program. For example, there's a firmware for remotes. Especially people that, I don't know if anybody here has done anything with microcontrollers. They have their own inbuilt firmware. Digital video recorder has its own firmware. You might have had theories of people saying that your television could be watching you. It's not a theory, it's a practical something. It's happening. So you can read here saying in 2016, a DDoS attack against domain name provider DYN took down many popular sites. So popular site took down webcams, routers, especially switches. You don't protect those things, if you don't upgrade those things. So sometimes now in my company, usually do maintenance, and when they do the maintenance is when there's less internet traffic. So that's around 12 a.m. where we all get a mail telling us that, look, they want to update the routers in so state, in so state, in so state, in so state. And because they are going to update it, it will be service impacting, meaning that those routers are going to be shut down. And when those routers are shut down, if you are awake by the time you are browsing, Utilo, you can't browse, you can't do anything. You have to switch network at that particular point in time. So why are they doing those upgrades? They do not want a situation whereby their routers are brought down. Maybe it's attacked by different kind of attack, maybe app attack or sniffing attack, whatever attacking methodologies they use, right? So it will, help them prevent future attack. That is why there's constant upgrade and updates. So these are measures we're going to talk about as we continue in future. Now, learning the details of an attack. So this is a lab. The lab is going to guide us on what to do. Let's see what the lab says. Okay, the lab is 2 pages. Oh, so we got to do this. Part 1 says conduct a search of IoT application vulnerabilities. So you just do application vulnerabilities using a favorite search engine. It says conduct a search of IoT vulnerabilities. So during the search, find an example of an IoT vulnerabilities for each of the IoT verticals. Industry, energy systems, healthcare, and government. So you check for a popular IoT vulnerability that is for an industry, check for energy systems, check for healthcare, and check for government. Now, the kind of IoT vulnerability that is most commonly affect healthcare and government. No, healthcare majorly is what they call ransomware. Right? Ransomware. Depending on the kind of hospitals you go to, that some hospitals, like 90% of what they do is computerized. So imagine that a patient, they brought a patient now, and the patient is in an emergency situation. And you know that if somebody is in an emergency situation, you cannot just give the person anything. You might need to check the person's health record. So what if there's a ransomware that attacked the healthcare system? How would they know the healthcare record of that person? That person could lose his life because of that. So that's the dangerous thing. So as small. So what healthcare do is that why they have electronic records, they also have paper records. So in case the electronic record is not working, the paper record comes alive. Government, what they do, the kind of attack they do is just to break into their system, steal confidential information that's not meant for the public. That's government. Energy systems, energy generation companies. There was a, I don't know if you had it. Is it EKEDC? Yeah, EKEDC, Disco. Ikeja Disco, yeah, Ikeja Disco was hacked earlier this year or late last year. Nobody could recharge prepaid meters for like 3 or 4 days. That's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Sometime this year, early this year, Remita was hacked. Remita was hacked. Files that were stolen were up to terabytes. Files were exposed. Your data and my data were there. So someone will say, oh, it's just data that lost. Data that lost is a very, very important problem in the system. Remita was hacked. That was when the famous bank hacks were happening. Which other bank was hacked? I think Access Bank was hacked. Sterling Bank was hacked. Many other banks were hacked. They will not come out to admit it. That's one thing you should know. But we know. Because on the dark web, people were seeing their names on the dark web. That's not a joke. It's not a joke. Your credit card information is stolen. So it's a problem.
You were talking of recent hacks. I think even the European Ministry of Health was hacked recently. And
A lot of them.
These white guys, the more you get one information from their information, almost all their information is tied down to one thing. So as the guy actually gets to enter their Ministry of Health, he actually messed them up because he got driver license, he got people credit card, different activities here actually.
So why I'm buttressing these things is that so we as cybersecurity should know how dangerous this is. So if you are new to this thing and you just say, what is there? No, it's a very serious issue and should not be allowed to happen in the first place. So that's why we have to be very inquisitive. And it starts from you yourself. It starts from you yourself. You should not be the kind of person that clicks any link. You see there, oh, MTN is giving free, is a lie. MTN is not giving anything. So recently, I encountered something that amazed me. These guys can go anywhere. They posted a scholarship opportunity and said it is a Commonwealth, and I was like, wow, it looks so good to be true. I wanted to apply, because I was looking for a scholarship then. But when I checked again, I said, hold on. I did a bit of research and I discovered that these guys, they stole an old domain name that was no longer in use and crafted a fully believable message. And when I checked it, I said, wow, maybe I'll give that as your assignment to go and investigate that site. And you tell me what was wrong with the site. So when you do this, you have to check what the vulnerability is, check who might exploit it. So people that exploit it, what are they going to do with it? So, and then you explain why the vulnerability exists and you say what can be done to limit the vulnerability. So that's what you do as part of this lab. Then let's look at threat impact. Impact of a threat. PII, PHI. So PII means personal identifiable information. So it's that any information that can identify you personally is very, very serious. The economic impact of cyber attacks is difficult to determine with precision. That one is very difficult because it's a very difficult thing. I cannot say. Businesses will lose over $5 trillion annually by 2024 due to cyber attacks. So personally identifiable information is any information that can be used to positively identify an individual rather. For example, name, social security number for those in the United States and Canada, birth date, your credit card details, your bank account numbers, your government issued ID. For us in Nigeria, we use the NIN. Your address, your full address, it's one of the ways, it's a personal identifiable information. It should not be leaked online. So it's one of the lucrative goals of cyber criminals is to obtain this PII and sell it on dark web. That's what they do. Your names, your password, everything, they sell it on dark web and collect their money. So they tell you, bring $100,000. If you don't bring $100,000, they go and sell it to multiple people on dark web, collect $30,000 from them and go their way. Right? So it is in all those, in fact, the software they use to send fake alerts is gotten from dark web. I don't have it. I don't know where it is gotten from, but I know it's from dark web. So it is when this thing happens and they steal that information, it's going to be used as a part of a larger attack. That's just the point there. So that is one impact when they steal PII. PHI is personal health information. Yeah, protected health information. And then PSI is personal security information. So there are bodies that prevent, that make sure that you don't take all those information. For example, the one that governs Europe is GDPR. GDPR is very strict. If you play anyhow with European data, your jail time is going to be very long. They also have in US is the one that is HIPAA. HIPAA protects health information, especially in the US. So lost competitive advantage. Imagine your company was hacked, you lose a reputation. Very, very serious. So if your intellectual property is stolen, like we just talked about stealing of intellectual property, and it's sold into the hands of your rival, you don't have a competitive advantage again in market. That's another thing. And also, your customers will not trust you. Something happened some years ago. A particular suspected terrorist was caught, and he had an iPhone. An American government wanted Apple to unlock his iPhone, and Apple refused. Apple refused. Till today, Apple have not unlocked that phone. And I agree with them. They should not unlock it because it is a breach of trust on the part of their
Like
customers.
I signed agreement with you.
Politics.
Sign agreement with you. Why will you leak my data? I can sue them.
Exactly. So Apple cannot. Apple refused to do that. So American government had to get another way to do that. However they got it, I don't know. It's not my business. So politics and national security. It's not just businesses that get hacked. In February 2016, a hacker published the personal information of 20,000 US FBI employees. Do you know what it means? FBI employees, you publish their full information. People that have been busting criminals, you now sell the full information of that. The criminals should have been looking for them in their houses. It's a very, and Department of Homeland Security. So it's the person was doing that of political motivation, and it's not a good thing, right? Stuxnet worm is another example. That was the first attempt by America to bring down Iran's nuclear program. And they were successful. They were able to greatly impede their progress until lately, Iran saw what was going on and was able to rid themselves of the worms. And Donald Trump had to go with the real deal, had to bomb the mountains, right? So that one is a question for another day. So when you read up on all these things and then you take the lab, so visualizing black hats. So this one you have to know how to visualize black hats. So black hats are the people that do hacking for dangerous purposes. They are not your friend. Let's look at it. So we have a scenario here. FBI has estimated that cybercrime cost individuals and companies over $3.5 billion in 2019. Government, businesses, and individual users are increasingly the targets of cyber attacks, and cybersecurity incidents are becoming more common. You will create 3 hypothetical cyber attackers, each with an organization, an attack, a motive. In addition, suggest a method by which an organization could prevent or mitigate the attack. Note, you can use the web browser in the virtual machine that was installed to research on security issues. You don't need to use the web browser. They're just telling you. So just check internet and create hypothetical situations of this and then tell us. So you can go online and check it. It's not a very difficult thing. So let's look at the summary of Module 1. So from the war stories, just told us stories of real attack. Threat actors, we can see the different type of threat actors: amateurs, activists, organized crime group, state-sponsored, terrorist groups. Amateurs have little to no skills. I will not talk much on this. These are things that are there. Then the impact of the threats. Apart from stolen health information, money can be lost. It becomes an issue of national security, most importantly. And customers can lose trust in your company. If your company is hacked, you will lose trust. You will lose trust. You will lose trust. Okay, let's take this quiz. Should we take this quiz together? Or let me leave it for you guys? Because
No,
our time
let's
is
take it together.
Are you scared? You can pass it, so you can do it. Okay, let's try. So an attacker sends a piece of malware as an email attachment in a company. So what's one probable purpose of the attack? Okay. I don't know. Who can tell us? You have searching and updating trade secrets, denying external access to web server that's open to public, probing open ports on the firewall on the border network, cracking administrator password for the critical server. What do you think? Who has an idea? Why would they send malware?
Searching and obtaining trade secrets.
What's your logic behind that?
I think because the attacker need the secrets of need the secrets from the company. I think so. I don't know.
So if he sends the malware, what if he needs secrets? Why can't he just go and knock on the company and collect the secret? Why is he sending the malware?
It's so that I can do it from the back door.
Yeah, so that probably can, it can leave a backdoor virus in the system or something. I don't know, but what I know is that you just need you need to obtain the trade secret. Yeah, the company secret.
I'll go with C though.
C, probing open ports on the firewall. Why?
Yeah. The idea of sending a malware is to be able to be in the company's system without the security that the company has placed to be able to detect them. So it's like being there silently without the company's awareness. So I would say they are probing open ports in the firewall and border network. So it's like just doing some probes and all that so that they can do, from there, they can move on to whatever they want to do.
Okay. So which one do we go for, guys? A or C? Though I know it's not cracking the administrator password.
C is the answer.
Are you sure?
I think I'm sure.
I think we should go with the last one. Cracking the administrator password for a critical.
As how?
We should go with A, Joe.
Okay. Me, I don't know the answer, so I'll go.
Me, I'm going with searching and obtaining trade seconds. I'm going with the first
Don't worry.
one.
At the end of the class, we'll know if we are correct or not.
So which one is your own answer? Which one do you choose?
No, you are the ones answering the question. Anything you choose, I go with you guys.
Oh, right? We are doing it together now. We are doing it together.
I'm not together with you people on this one. It's you people that is answering it. So if you say we should do it, all right, let's do it together.
But at the end of the class, you tell us the correct answer, right?
No. You're telling us now. We are doing it together. We learned together.
You will see the correct answer. You will know the answer. If you fail it, it's not. You will learn now. If you fail, you will learn. No problem. Let's continue. What is cyber warfare? Okay, this should be clear. This should be easy now. An attack that only involves robots.
It is an attack designed to disrupt, corrupt, or exploit national interests.
I think that's the correct answer.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I
that's the correct answer, right? We all agree on C.
Yes,
Let me see
yes,
that.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, we agree.
The class will soon end though. So I just want us to wrap up this. So let's go on. What type of malware has the primary objective of spreading across the network? That's a worm. I know we did not explain that,
Yes,
but
worm.
it's a worm. Okay. I will explain the difference between virus and Trojan horse later. What's the potential risk when using free and open wireless hotspot in a public location? Did I say that?
Yes, you say that.
You did,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Go, G.
Network
Free and
traffic
open.
The answer is
The
D.
last, the last, the last answer.
The last
D is
answer.
the answer.
The last answer.
Yeah, I mentioned something about hijacking. Okay. At the request of investors, a company is proceeding with cyber attributions with a particular attack that was conducted from an external source. Eh? What security term is used to describe the person or device responsible for the attack?
Threat actor.
Threat actor. Threat
Okay,
actor.
that's pretty clear.
Last option, yeah.
What name is given to an amateur hacker? We said that. Script
Oh.
kiddie, yeah, we said that.
Huh?
We said that. Is script kiddie now? Okay. What commonly motivates cyber criminals to attack network as compared to hacktivists or state-sponsored hackers?
Financial gain.
What's
Financial gain.
Financial gain.
Financial gain.
They are looking for the money. They're after the bag.
Yes,
Okay.
financial gain.
What is a botnet? It's a network of
I think I'm
infected
finding
computers.
that.
It's a network of infected computers that are controlled as a group. That's what they call a botnet.
Yes.
Right?
That is B, a network of infected computers.
You didn't teach
Yeah,
us this
so
one. No?
as we go
You
on,
not
we'll talk
teach us
about
this one.
how they are done. You said?
You not teach us this one. No?
No worries. If you read it, you will see it. It's here. All right. What's a rogue wireless hotspot?
It is a
This one is the correct one.
hotspot that does not encrypt.
So it's a hotspot that appears. No. It's a
Another name.
hotspot that appears from a legitimate business, but actually set up without the permission from the business.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why it's not everything. I had a boss then that told us my Wi-Fi is open, but don't connect. So one of my guys then connected and his phone shut down. He had to flash his phone.
Sure.
He had to flash his phone. The moment he connected, he got virus immediately from that Wi-Fi. Yeah. So what's the best definition of PII?
Personal identification. Something.
Identification. Personal identification.
So the best definition of PII, that is, we are looking at
Data that is collected.
Data
which
that
of
is
these
collected from server and websites for nominal.
No. So data that is collected from servers and web browsers using cookies is not possible. But they do not track using cookies does not identify who you are. For anonymous browsing,
option C. It's option C.
No.
Data that is collected on business to track
still
the
wrong. The
digital
last one is
behavior of
correct.
consumers.
It doesn't. It's up D.
Okay, yeah,
go
D, yes, because of the identities.
Identities of individual. That's what was used as cyber warfare. Yeah, what was used as cyber warfare weapon to attack uranium enrichment at Iran? That's Stuxnet.
Yes, D.
We talk about Stuxnet. So a company pays a significant sum of money to hackers in order to regain control of an email and data server. What type of security attack was used by the hackers?
Ransomware.
Ransomware.
So they held you at ransom. So we have answered 12 questions. Let's see if we got everything correct. So this is how your assessment is going to be at the end of each module.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so let's try. Let's see. Okay, we got 100%.
Wow.
Oh!
Wow.
So that's the end of module 1. So if you look at my own, I only did 93%. So I mean, that means I have not done something around there. I've not watched the video. I've not done a lab. Right? So on your own, make sure you do all these videos and all this lab and then get yourself ready. Our time is up. Any question? This is 8 o'clock at the dot. Any question so that we can wrap?
Yes.
Okay, please.
My question is, how many hours are we supposed to stay on the class?
It's 6 to 8. We had a bit of network problems. You were here earlier. I don't know what happened, but we should have ended earlier. But then 6 to 8. It should be 2 hours. Any
Okay,
question?
so
Any other question?
yes.
Yeah.
So
Please
this
ask your
this
question.
my question is those hackers that do cover their face. I mean, even when they're in their house, they can be wear, I don't know, they cover their face with hood and all that. What is this for? Is it that they don't want? Is their computer
Sometimes
scanning their
some
face?
sites you are going to unknowingly on your camera and capture your face. So they know that they are going to dangerous waters. So I don't know if you are watching, go to YouTube and search videos of when they are busting scammers. Discover that those scammers they are busting, they are able to turn on the camera of the scammer by themselves. So I'm just saying from what I've seen. I'm not a hacker. I've never covered my face. Even as I'm talking to you, my face is here. I'm seeing you.
How
do we download VirtualBox?
Okay, I'll send you the link. You can just go to virtualbox.org. Sorry, virtualbox.org. You'll get it. You see the latest version there.
Okay, sir. Sir, how do I channel myself to SOC analyst? I'm not doing ethical hacking again. Ethical hacking is.
I'm not teaching. No. We are not teaching you. We are not teaching you ethical hacking here. I'm not teaching you ethical hacking. It's just the basics. So we do a bit of SOC analysis as we go on. Trust me. But that should be towards the end of the module. All right.
Yeah, that's blue team.
Yeah, blue team, exactly. Even if I'm a red team guy, but don't worry, I know blue team too. All right.
Maybe you just
I wish you good luck. So, all right. Please see you guys on Saturday. I won't be the one handling you on Saturday. But please make sure you've downloaded VirtualBox. If you have any challenge, please speak up. Talk about it in the group chat. Somebody will be there. If I'm not the one, I have other instructors that are going to help.
I'm going to share the lab I downloaded that was showing unavailable. I'm going to share that on the group chat so that I can follow up from there.
All right. I'll answer you from there.
Okay.
All right.
Please, sir, about the downloading, should we download this very one here in our NetAcad, or we should go to
yes. That's the download that very one there. It's already configured for this program. Yeah, download that very one.
Okay.
All right. See you guys on Saturday.
Please, is it not the same one that this lady is saying that is showing error or something?
Yes.
How do you not download it?
So downloading. I think
maybe that's from her computer now or something. I don't know.
Okay, that means I should go ahead with the virtualbox.org
because of the class.
All right.
Should I still use virtualbox.org because I'm using virtualbox.org? Should I go ahead?
So no. You have to download VirtualBox first and install it on your computer. Then download this one from NetAcad and install it in VirtualBox.
Okay, so if I get you correctly, so I have to go to virtualbox.org and download first before I will now go to NetAcad.
So after downloading it, you install it on your machine, on your computer. Okay. Then now go to your NetAcad and download this file. And now you have to now import it in VirtualBox. That's just the pattern.
Okay.
And sir, there's this thing we keep forgetting. VirtualBox has this extension that makes it work better. So please, if you are downloading VirtualBox, watch out for the extension too. Always add the extension.
All right, everyone. I will be ending this meeting very soon. Any issues, just send it to the group chat. It's a nice run. I enjoyed the class today. I apologize for the network.
Sorry, somebody said something about the extension. Is the extension I'm downloading, or should I not?
Don't worry, I'll
No,
check
you have to
and send
download the
you.
virtual
Don't worry,
box
I'll
first.
check and send you the link. Don't worry, I'll check and send you the
Okay,
link.
thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
check and
Just
send you the
follow
link.
Oga. Just follow Oga link.
Okay. All right, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
See you.
Bye.
Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah, please send all your
Bye,
queries.
sir.
Yeah, send all your queries. Every issue you have, send it to the group. Don't be shy. I will answer you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
You're
sir. Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Please, is there anything like attendance? Are we doing attendance or something?
Very soon. Very soon.
Very
Thank
soon.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Baba, now you want set us up like this, so you dey shoot us. You dey shoot us for our leg. You dey make us shoot. All right, bye, everyone.